It's Friday, folks. Let's clap it up for it being Friday, guys. Let's clap it up on account of it being Friday. We got a lot to talk about today, actually. The Jimmy Butler stuff is reaching a next to unbelievable point. Gafford plus Exum for Big Nurk. Who says no? What? Yeah. Let's get this day started right. We're going to talk about the Jimmy stuff. How does the mic sound? Do we sound good? Turn the volume up a bit. I also have the music high. So did you see that video of Ant saying he can't be great because he's getting double teamed? Yes, yes. Sounds good, Slightly Biased. Maybe bump up 7 to 8 KHZ a bit and cut around 200 to 250 HZ. I don't know what that means. I'll deal with that. We'll look at that in the playback stream tonight. All right, let's get started here. Let's start this Friday off right. Yeah, Bacon's knows his shit. That much is certain. That much I never have a question about. That's literally his job. There you go. Well, you're doing a great job, buddy. Also, shout out to Nespresso. I mean, look at this bad boy. Huh? Oh. Oh my God. So good. I haven't been, you invited audio files to your life, how they won't leave. I love my audio files. You know why I love my audio files? Is because they're always being helpful. Some audio files that I see in other communities are just being annoying the entire time. Mine are helpful. So you need one of those streamer mic stands. I got a really nice mic arm. Your audio issues will disappear. I don't think I have audio issues anymore. Cray, 24 months of the Slight Delusional Club. 2 years. Congratulations. My mic volume's lower. I think it's only on here for some reason. I think it's Streamlabs, actually. Streets are saying Woken Strategies will be making an appearance on the State of the League podcast with Jokic Yostar and Pablo Escobar. Are you really? Love that podcast. You think Maxey should be traded? Sure. All right, here we go. Let's get started here. Oh, there was no NFL games last night, right? Okay, Notre Dame. Okay. I knew that one. I don't know why my brain just turned off. Where did Justin Herbert play college football? Oregon, correct? Because I saw on Twitter he's got a brother there. The tweet was like, Justin Herbert's brother looks just like him. And everyone was like, well, yeah. Who led up the grand slam to Freddie Freeman in game 1 of the 2024 World Series? That was Nestor Cortez. I actually know that. That's crazy. I know that. I was watching that game. Michael Jordan hit the last shot in 1998 against this team. That is the Jazz, of course. All right. We're kind of cruising. We've got college football out of the way. Michael Jordan hit the last shot in 1998 over this player. Was it Jeff Hornacek or John Stockton? It was Stockton. It was Hornacek, wasn't it? Oh, Byron Russell. Fuck me. Which country has won the most Women's World Cups? That's USA. Who hosted the Women's World Cup in 1998-9? I think USA did. Okay. Is that coming up or something? This running back holds the record for most points scored in one NFL season. Oh, this would be a complete guess. My guess would be LaDainian Tomlinson, actually. Okay, nice. I used to have a LaDainian Tomlinson powder blue jersey. Which of these teams did Ricky Henderson not play for? Oh, shit. He got around. Rest in peace, obviously. I'm kind of thinking the Mariners. Okay. Well, I got that wrong for sure. Who holds the NFL record for rushing touchdowns by a rookie? No fucking clue. Eric Dickerson. Okay. All right. And a little embarrassing that we lost on a basketball one, obviously, but that's the case. That's how it goes. All right, we have a busy stream today. Let me check real quick. Any like Bleacher Report articles? Any Bleacher Report articles that I might be interested in? Just reacting to? Sad Jimmy Butler interview. Womp, womp, womp. Jimmy Butler requests trade. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. Power rankings, 3-team Jimmy trade idea. Lakers trade proposal. No. No. Any AI generated articles to clickbait? That's really what it is. It works, guys. I want to say on the Clips channel, anytime I do a Bleacher Report reaction video or whatever, there's always one guy, and God bless him, always one guy who comments and is like, Kenny did this first, as in KOT. I'm like, Kenny wrote the fucking article? There's probably hundreds of channels who've done this. How about you relax a little tiny bit? How about you relax? All right, so a couple things. And I want you guys, you know, we're a democratic organization here. I want you guys to tell me, what do you want first? I got 3 things for you. 3 main things. I want to go over the Anthony Edwards post-game comments because I found them very strange. Very disappointed in my guy Ant-Man. No 2 ways around it. Very disappointed in him. Very disappointed. Want to talk about him. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Jimmy Butler trade saga, and that's going to be a longer segment. I want to, is there an article out there? Is there an article that's like a timeline of all of this shit? Because this has been brewing. Jimmy Butler timeline. This has been brewing for quite a bit. And it has reached a very uncomfortable time. Very uncomfortable endpoint here. I'm not talking about Kelly Olynyk. God bless him. But I put together it's the New Year's. It's January 3rd. We didn't go live January 1st. I put together some New Year's resolutions for myself, as well as predictions for the year 2025 that are mostly NBA related and are all sports related. So which direction do we want to go? Because I'm thinking the Jimmy segment and the goals and prediction segment will be pretty long. Which one do you guys want to start with? Let's start with the Anthony Edwards stuff, because I don't think I'll spend too much time on that. Skip. Butler and Embiid reunion would be epic. I didn't even think about that being a real possibility until somebody tweeted me about it. I want slightly to find joy in streaming again. I've loved streaming this year, by the way. I want to say that. I really have loved it. Jimmy would be an excellent addition on the Mavs. Slightly rival stream. I can't do video game streams. I don't have the time. You guys don't need that much me. You guys don't need that much me in your lives. I have a gut feeling it'll be Houston. We're good. Okay. I'm gonna be real. I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. I, for the fucking life of me, cannot think of a Jimmy Butler trade destination, man. It is so hard to figure out. Jimmy to the Rockets is my bet. I don't even think that makes sense at all. Slightly political stream. We needed those hot takes. You guys don't see the full vision yet. That's all right. By the end of 2026, this will be a full political channel. We'll have phased out. God, I'm so disappointed in Anthony Edwards, man. What is slightly debating Vosh? I don't know much about that guy. I jammed my finger fucking bad playing basketball yesterday. Okay. Now, what sucks is I'm trying to get to this. All right, here it is. Let's get started. Shall we? We shall. Good morning, folks. It is February 3rd, Friday. It's 9:52 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you might be wondering to yourself, my God, slightly sounds sexy today. Thank you. I know. This is the debut of our new microphone setup. February, it's January. Sorry. Hey, look, we're already thinking so far into the future that we're calling January February. We're ready to go. We're ready to get past January. Like, this is how forward thinking that we are. Okay. So I apologize for that, but I understand that's why it is. We do have a lot to talk about today. And, I'm starting to get back into the groove. Admittedly, during the holiday stretch, I did not watch anywhere near as much basketball as I would have liked. I have changed that. I spent pretty much the entire day yesterday just binging NBA League Pass games for the past week or so. Watching a lot of Cavs games because the Mavs played them tonight, but also, I watched a lot of Cavs games earlier in the season. I feel like I went a couple weeks without really monitoring them. Strus is back, or Mavs murderer Max Strus is back. I want to really briefly give a little aside about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, I'm in. I don't give a fuck about their playoff. I know that a lot of things that have that they've done in the postseason in the recent years make it to where we might not believe in them as much. Yeah, they're great. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. Straight up. They are. The way that they played so far this season, at least. The best team in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics have some question marks that are starting to get a little bit concerning. I'm going to have my faith in them just because I know what they're capable of. But Garland's going to go 6-19 in the playoffs. That is it. But I want to talk about this real quickly. Darius Garland, DG the PG. Oh shit, we got to do all-star voting returns too. We got a lot to talk about today. DG the PG. He's been unbelievable, man. Oh, he's been so good. And, you know, you talk about him as somebody who was very disappointing a season ago. I saw a tweet yesterday that I got reminded of from last year. It was a doctor who was basically talking about how important your jaw is. How important your jaw is whenever you're playing sports. And how athletes clench their jaws all the time. And how it actually, it's like a force multiplier. That when you clench your jaw, it like increases your force. I don't know how, but that's just like athletes do it all of the time. And there was a study or something that it's like 20% more force if you're not using a mouthpiece. Like it was crazy shit. And that just served as a reminder. Yeah, mewing. They're literally mewing on the court. That just served as a reminder that Darius Garland fucked up his jaw last year and was eating smoothies. Couldn't eat solid food. Garland lost a ton of weight. So, like, his very weird season last year really can tie to that. And you watch Cavs games, this guy's a fucking beast. Darius Garland's one of my favorite players in the game. If you follow me for any period of time, you know, I said before Donovan Mitchell got there, I thought Darius Garland was somebody who could lead the league in assists. I love watching him play. He's awesome. He is awesome. His passing ability, his synergy with Jared Allen. I mean, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Well, once he gets 2 feet in the paint, the drop off for Jared Allen's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he talks some shit. I love me some Darius Garland. The Cavs are legit. They are legit. They are. If they can swing a trade for a more reliable 3, I don't know how it's possible, but if they can somehow swing a trade for a more reliable 3, look out, dude. They just got Max Strus back. I like him quite a bit on this team. Dean Wade's been good for them. I think he had like a 12 rebound, 10 and 12 against the Warriors a few nights ago. Like, man. Yeah, if the Cavs somehow saw Markkanen, that would be unbelievable. Would the Cavs conceivably trade for JB? JB. Jaylen Brown? Oh, Jimmy Butler. I've never heard Jimmy Butler called JB. No, I don't think contractually that makes sense. LeBron size hold. Cam Johnson would be the one, but I don't know how that makes sense contractually either. If they could somehow swing a trade for Cam Johnson and not tap into their 4 guys, holy fuck, that team would be disgusting. Just knocked my pills over. Whoops. Advil. Jalen Brunson. Did Jimmy Butler call JB? I've honestly never heard that. Let's start here, I guess, with the NBA All-Star voting first fan returns. These dropped yesterday. Quite interesting, the results here. A couple of very intriguing developments. Jokic leads the front court in the Western Conference, 1.4 million votes for Nikola Jokic. That's not really a surprise there. You have Kevin Durant coming in second. He's had a tremendous season, obviously. Just missed a lot of time. The Suns are a very, very weird team currently. But Kevin Durant's been awesome. LeBron, I mean, it's kind of crazy. LeBron's 300,000 votes behind Nikola Jokic. That's a little crazy to me. You know, obviously Jokic is a better player than LeBron James, but we're talking about LeBron James here. He's been the captain for how long? How many years in a row has LeBron been the leading vote getter? Anthony Davis, 999,000 votes. Wemby at 5. I would venture to guess the NBA would like for that number to be higher. And we'll talk about another player here in a second. But I would venture to guess the NBA probably wants Wemby to be the leading vote getter, or up around the 1 million mark. And then you have a massive drop-off. So Victor Wembanyama, 900,000. Şengün, 300,000. J-Dub with the Thunder, 188,000. Wiggins, 187,000. Domantas Sabonis, 148,000. Jaren Jackson Jr., who's having a tremendous season and absolutely deserves to be an all-star. 103,000 behind guys like Domantas Sabonis, Andrew Wiggins. The backcourt in the Western Conference, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the pack with 1 million votes. Luka Doncic, who will not be playing in this game, 870,000. Well, I say Luka's not going to play in it. There's no way Luka plays in it, right? Absolutely no way. But he's second right now, 870,000 votes. If I had to guess, he probably still would not have played a game by then. Steph Curry at 810,000 votes. This game is in Golden State. Steph Curry will be there, although I will say I do not think he's been an all-star level guard so far this season. Kyrie Irving, fourth. That's good to see. 500,000 votes. It feels like Kyrie is going to be an all-star this year. He really does deserve it. Anthony Edwards. James Harden is probably really deserving of an all-star game. Ja Morant's probably deserving of an all-star game. De'Aaron Fox, for all of the Kings, flaws and all of the De'Aaron Fox discourse, probably deserves to be an all-star as well. D-Book. Norm Powell, 10th. How about that? 110,000. Who's missing from the backcourt in the Western Conference? Who are we not talking about? I feel like we're missing somebody. Kyrie really deserves more than Luka. Luka's not going to make it, man. Is there a game threshold? Am I wrong? What up, Philip? Salute. Maybe I'm wrong. Norm Powell making the All-Star game would be great. Nick was like, they probably have a first-time All-Star. He was talking about the Clippers. And Norm Powell, and I was like, there's next to no way Norman Powell makes the All-Star game, man. You always think about this guy should make it, that guy should make it, and then you realize how little spots there are and how fucking stacked the league is. Just probably not making it. Big Kyrie starting. Kyrie starting is a possibility. Well, no, it's going to be Shai and Steph. I mean, the game's in San Francisco. Then we go to the Eastern Conference where we really start to get some interesting stuff out east. Giannis is the leading vote getter overall at 1.7 million votes. Just goes to show how popular Giannis is. How popular Giannis is. The leading vote getter overall. Jason Tatum, number 2 at 1.3 million. Then you have Karl Anthony Towns, big bodega, over 1 million votes with the Knicks. Now, this is interesting because we'll get to Jalen Brunson here in a bit, but Jalen Brunson has less than half of that. Jalen Brunson's at 470,000 votes, where Cat is doubling up Jalen Brunson. I find that really, really interesting. And there was a lot of tweets I saw because of this that was just like, why does Jalen Brunson not resonate as much as he probably should? The leading point guard on the Knicks, finished top 5 in MVP voting last year, has really completely and totally brought that franchise to another place entirely. The biggest franchise, one of the biggest franchises in the NBA, one of the biggest franchises in all of sports that's been desperate for not only a competitive team, but a point guard. And it's just, it doesn't feel like it resonates that much. I mean, New York fans love him, obviously. But that's interesting to me. Brunson can't play defense to save his life, and no one wants to talk about it. I mean, there's been plenty of guys. I mean, we're going to talk about a guy who does not play defense at all. Dominican Republican voters. But that's crazy to me, that Cat. And it could also be the way that the voting system is set up inside the NBA, the NBA infrastructure, with who pops up first whenever you look at choices. Cat's obviously going to be an all-star. I mean, Jalen Brunson's going to be an all-star. They both deserve it. Paolo, who's played 5 games so far this season, 480,000 votes. That's a good sign, I think, for the NBA. Jaylen Brown, 433,000. He's 5th. Jimmy Butler, 6th. Be a little surprised if he's an all-star this year. Franz at 7th. How about that? Franz with more votes than Joel Embiid. Wow, what a timeline. What a timeline we live in, folks. Our guy Franz Wagner, obviously he's injured as well. But Joel Embiid at 8th with 170,000 votes. Paul George at 9th with 167,000 votes. And then you have Mobley. So interestingly enough, I just talked at the start of the stream about the Cavs. Not a lot of respect here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Evan Mobley at 10th. Evan Mobley absolutely should be an all-star this season. I really do think the Cavs have a solid argument for having 4 all-stars in this game. With Mobley, Allen, who's not even top 10 here, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Because they don't have PR like SGA and OKC. I mean, even the Thunder, like Shea, obviously 1 million votes. But J-Dub is, J-Dub's 7th. But I mean, both those teams should be having multiple all-stars. The Thunder would probably have 3 all-stars if Chet was healthy. That's just the way it is. Usually the best teams get multiple all-stars. And then the backcourt. Here is the most interesting result of this whole thing. And it's a really, really good... it's a really good time to reflect on some of this stuff and really think about some of the bigger picture stuff here. LaMelo Ball is the leading vote getter amongst guards in the Eastern Conference with nearly 1 million votes. Number 1. And he's got a comfortable over 200,000 vote lead over number 2. LaMelo Ball. I don't think, it's hard to process this, how much LaMelo Ball resonates with 12-year-olds. That's really it. We talk about Zoomers. I think we got to go beyond Zoomers. I think we have to go beyond Zoomers with LaMelo Ball. I think we're talking about Generation Alpha. How old is Generation Alpha, people? Man, I saw that we're now entering Generation Beta, and I saw a people born between the early 2010s. Yeah, he resonates with 14-year-olds. We talked about, I saw a thing that it was like a graphic of all the generations. According to this graphic, I'm a Zoomer. I don't know how I feel about that. Not sure how I feel about that. But no, kids do love LaMelo Ball. We know that for certainty. He's a very popular player. Obviously, the Ball brothers, very popular. They resonate with a younger audience. It is just crazy that this guy nearly has 1 million votes, is kind of pacing the Eastern Conference backcourt, which is very stacked and talented. And it does make you wonder. It makes you wonder, should the NBA be pushing LaMelo Ball a little bit more? Their team is terrible. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been tuned out a little bit from the Charlotte Hornets shenanigans. You guys know I love them. You guys know that I've always been a very strange believer in them. But LaMelo Ball also is dealing with an injury currently. And I mean, he's still averaging 30 points a game, 7.5 assists. He's fucking good. He is good. He's fun to watch. Kind of crazy to me that LaMelo Ball has more votes than Steph Curry. Like, what? He has more votes than Steph Curry. Second is Donovan Mitchell. Third is Damian Lillard. Always been a very sneaky, very popular player. Then you have Jalen Brunson, who we talked about just a second ago, 4th with 477,000 votes. Trae Young, 5th. Cade Cunningham, 6th. I do think Cade Cunningham's got to be an all-star this year. He absolutely deserves it. Tyrese Maxey, 7th, 246,000. Hasn't been a great season for Tyrese Maxey, but he's picked it up recently. Jordan Poole at 8th. How about that? A resurgence here for Jordan Poole. He has been much better this year. I'm happy for him. Tyler Hero at 9th. Absolutely deserves to be an all-star. No two ways around that. 125,000 votes. Derek White, 10th with 120,000 votes. Not sure Derek White is deserving this year, to be honest with you. He's had a weird last month or so. So that's interesting to me. And we'll wait a little bit and I'll do my all-star ballot here in a few weeks. Maybe we start doing like a weekly all-star ballot or something. Maybe I'll have that next week ready for you. Pool over hero. Well, this isn't fan voting, but Pool's not making the All-Star game. Tyler Hero, absolutely needs to be an All-Star. You know what's here? No Bam Adebayo. Very disappointing season for Bam. No two ways around that. Anyone else missing? Any notable names where you're like, how the fuck is that guy not even on the ballot? Halliburton, yeah. Tyrese Halliburton. What a fall off. And you think like Siakam too. Like Siakam couldn't crack 100,000 votes. Or maybe he might have cracked 100,000 votes, but Poole getting 14-year-old votes for the baddie TikToks. I mean, he's a popular player. He probably also gets some Warriors fans. It's a very large fan base. Some Warriors fans who are like, Jordan Poole, I'll vote for him. No Rockets. You do have Shane Goon here, but the Rockets are an interesting one. Who do you put in? Who do you put in if you're the Rock? Like, it's Shane Goon, and there's no one else who's really worthy of an All-Star nomination from that team. No Jalen Johnson. Yeah, no Larry Markkinen. Jalen Johnson's a deep cut. Not yet. Jalen Johnson needs like a playoff moment. And then I think, like, this guy's awesome. He's good. He talks shit. He's a dog. He dunks hard. He needs a playoff or like a big primetime moment. No Dwight Powell. That's the real shame in all of this. All right, so that was that. The LaMelo Ball stuff is so interesting to me. Oh man. Straight up honest, guys. This next segment here hurts my heart in a lot of ways. As you guys might know, I'm a big Anthony Edwards guy. I have his pair of shoes. I love him. I love his attitude. Well, let me rephrase that. I loved his attitude. I love his energy that he brings. I think he's great for the sport. I think he's so fun to watch play basketball. He hasn't been the Anthony Edwards we were expecting this year. I've talked about this briefly, but we talk a lot about the Timberwolves sort of being this disappointing team to start this season, and he absolutely has been they have been a disappointing team, and a lot of blame gets placed a lot of different places, and probably rightfully so. The Julius Randle fit's been wonky. That's true. The floor spacing's not great. That's true. Dante DiVincenzo took a long time to get going, and he's picked it up greatly lately. All of that's true. But really, one of the big reasons why the Timberwolves have not been the team that we kind of expected is because Anthony Edwards has not come anywhere close to taking that leap that we were waiting for. He's been much closer to a top 20 player, not even top 10, not even top 15, a top 20 player than he's been a top 5 player. And we think about where a lot of conversation about him was trending last year. And yeah, man. Yeah. It's been disappointing. We were quite literally having Michael Jordan conversations. And I love Anthony Edwards. I thought that was batshit crazy that we were having talks like that in year of our Lord. 2024. But the Timberwolves lose last night to the Boston Celtics. Anthony Edwards has 15 points, 5 of 16, only 6 assists, 2 turnovers. And what really was the story was his post-game reaction. His post-game reaction was concerning, especially, again, for somebody who really does love Anthony Edwards and wants to see him be great. Here was his reaction following the game.
You took one shot but had 5 assists and you guys scored 34 points. Is that kind of the way forward for this right now? Like to just get up as much as possible?
Hell no. I mean, well, I'm sorry. Is that a cussing word?
No. I can say how pretty good.
I don't know, man. That was a good brand of basketball, but It's not how I want to play, of course. I mean, I'm only 23. I don't want to just be passing the ball all night. You feel me? Like,
You don't have to play comedy.
yeah, at all. But the way that they guarded me, I think I have to. So
I was gonna say, how hard is it to just stay engaged?
super hard,
Yeah.
super hard, super hard, super hard. I mean, because I'm wired to score the ball.
So no, that's not what you want to hear. I mean, just full stop. That's not what you want to hear. I get where he's coming from, though. I think that some of this is maybe getting blown out of proportion a tiny bit. But it's not really what you want to hear, especially considering, dude, you're going to get doubled all the fucking time. Okay? Like, this is going to be your reality. This is going to be your reality moving forward. Audio sucks. My audio? I still believe in it. Yeah, but look, here's the reality. You're going to get double teamed a bunch. Oh, the Twitter audio. I'm breaking up? Okay, I don't believe you. You're going to get double teamed all the time. This is going to be your reality. All right. That's just the truth. The playoffs is going to be really bad. You have to figure out a way to get past this. And this has been the problem for Anthony Edwards. Playmaking wise, he's not where he has to be a top 5 player. Anybody who watches him could tell you this. Okay? Anybody who watches him could tell you this. That all of this, he's a top 5 player. He's going to be a top 5 player. He's going to be a top 5 player. It's all been dependent on his playmaking, and this is interesting right here. I just pulled this up right now. I was looking at this. First and foremost, shout out to NBA RAPM. It's a legitimately really good website. But among players who have a 30% on ball percentage or more, so basically your lead guards, your big on ball players, Anthony Edwards, amongst all those guys, has the lowest potential assists per 100 possessions across all of these guys. Dead last. 10 potential assists per 100 points. That's awful. How the fuck do you average less than Trey Mann and Kevin Porter Jr.? Is he even top 10 this year? No. Anthony Edwards is not a top 10 player this year. That's what's disappointing. So I said he's closer to top 20 than he is top 5. That's like when we talk about, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at I don't even know what some of this shit is. What is BP turnover? BP? What does BP mean, we think? Bad pass would be my guess. SGA is the bare minimum for playmaking to be a superstar, and it's not even close. I don't like, nobody's asking him to be butt plug. That could be butt plug. Nobody's asking him to be Luka Doncic. And I was perusing through, some Timberwolves fan sites, their subreddit last night. I was just trying to see a vibe. I was trying to see the reaction to this comment from Anthony Edwards. And I saw people were like, yeah, he's got to turn into like Luka. Luka's great at passing out double teams. He's got to become a guy like that. Dude, that doesn't just fucking happen. Like, that doesn't happen. Luka came into the league as like a generational playmaking prospect. That was the thing. Like, the scoring for Luka, I wouldn't say it was always a hypothetical, but the scoring for Luka, that wasn't as sure to translate. But what we did know is like, hey, this guy's a great floor general, like going to be a great playmaker, bare minimum. Anthony Edwards, like, that doesn't just develop. You don't just go from being like, honestly, for a lead guard and a lead ball handler, if we're just being straight up honest, a bad playmaker, like, yeah, he'll have some passes here and there. Every fucking guard does. Like you're in the NBA. Every guard's a good playmaker, obviously. But in comparison to other lead guards and especially other stars, it's bad. And when you could just double team them and be like, hey, Jaden McDaniels, go crazy, dude. Jaden McDaniels, go crazy. Julius Randle, fumble the pass, take a couple jab steps. Our defense has rotated. Go crazy. we've recovered. Go crazy. Rudy Gobert, take that post hook. Take it. We dare you. Like, when you could start doing that, and it really doesn't help that, like, Dante DiVincenzo has been really slow to start the season, and he's been much better lately. And I know his spacing is so bad. I get that. There is a spacing issue there. All of these fucking guys deal with spacing issues, man. All of these guys see double teams. All of them do. Every single one of them does. You understand? I can't, like, look, I've had the honor of watching Luka Doncic play basketball for my favorite team. And here's a good comparison, because the 10 potential assists and stuff like that might not be fair, because across league guards, he doesn't have the ball as much, Anthony Edwards. But Luka this year, just to show the difference, Luka this year, 35% on ball percentage. He's averaging nearly 17.5 potential assists per 100 possessions. That's 7 more than Anthony Edwards. I mean, dude, it's bad. Wolves don't have shooters like other teams. Look, we talk about the Timberwolves being a contending team, a team that needs to compete for a championship. In order for that to happen, Anthony Edwards has to be around the top 5 player in the sport. That's just, historically, that's how it's been. You have to have a guy like that. That's just what they have to have it, specifically them, especially them, right? This isn't cutting it. He's going to get double teamed. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter who's on the floor for them. Honestly, it doesn't. Like, Cat obviously opened up a lot of things, because you do have to double team Cat. Cat's always been one of the most double team players in the league, because he's 7 foot. He's very physical. He's got a great post game. So once he drives, you got to send a lot of attention to that. Once he starts to post up, you got to send a lot of attention to that. He's a great 3-point shooter. Defenses are really, they're really aware of where Cat is on the court at all times. That obviously helped out Anthony Edwards. You got to get it out the fucking mud. You want to be a champion? You want to be a contending team? You want to be a top 5 player? You got to get it out the fucking mud. You got to play 4-on-3 basketball. You got to trust your teammates. You got to get the ball to the middle of the floor. You got to swing the ball around. That's just what has to happen, okay? That's just what has to happen. That's just the reality. Also, looking being 6'8" helps a lot. Just seeing over the defense. Ant just isn't going to grow taller, develop generational basketball IQ / passing. I mean, you saw times in that series last year as well. I mean, game 2? The Timberwolves had that game. Anthony Edwards made a horrific turnover late in that game. Picked up his dribble in the middle of the floor, had nowhere to go, threw the pass out of bounds. He's not a great playmaker, man. He just isn't. There's bare minimum stuff required. Gobert and Randall suck, though, slightly. I really can't. I can't let him off the hook that easily, because I've seen Luka Doncic, and I know I'm bringing up Luka quite a bit, but again, understand what we're talking about here. We're talking about top 5 player in the league. We're talking about being the best player on a team that wants to contend for a championship. It's a different level. It's a different level that you're entering in these conversations. I watched Luka get out the mud with Reggie Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, a young Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dwight Powell. Like, you think any of those guys are drawing a ton of attention from defenses? They're not. Luka was, like, historically one of the most double-team blitz trap players in the league last year. He led the league in scoring. Damn near averaged a 34-point triple-double. Like, I'm sorry. Should have been the fucking MVP. Like, I'm sorry. But yeah, Reggie Bullock could not dribble the basketball. Okay? Donovan Mitchell's been better than him. Well, Donovan Mitchell's been great and is probably like a little criminally underrated at this point. Do you want to know my news about the Mavericks? Sure. You're the Kelly Olynyk guy, aren't you? I'm excited to see where this goes. Lucas said he loves when they double him because it opens up other people. Teams were doubling Luka at insane rate despite the fact that he's a generational passer. Yeah, I mean, That's just, we're talking about a different conversation. You're talking about top 5 conversations. If this is a conversation, then everyone needs to stop talking about SGA. We don't give Tatum much MVP talk because of his team yet. SGA deserves it. Bro, the SGA hate train might have reached its end. I know a lot of Mavs fans have anti-SGA agendas. It's time to retire those, okay? It's time to retire those. He's doing insane shit. He's much better than Jason Tatum is, okay? He's doing crazy stuff. It's time to retire it. You're going to look silly. I'm telling you. You're going to look silly doing these. The SGA actually, SGA is like, if teams like if they didn't call fouls, SGA wouldn't even be good. Like, it's time to let these go. You're going to look really silly, okay? It's time to retire him. I don't see anything him doing Tatum can't. Dude, he's shooting like 59% on mid-range jumpers. It's like unbelievable how efficient he is now. He's genuinely reached an unstoppable point. He cannot be guarded. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. SGA is top 10, but not top 5. He's easily top 5. I mean, there's no argument for SGA to not be a top 5 player. None. Zero. Wait, I mean, Kings fans, why do Mavs fans want SGA to suck? I mean, there's a rivalry, obviously, between the Mavs and the Thunder a little bit. But beyond that, I think it's the uncomfortable. This guy's probably going to win MVP this year. And it's like, how the fuck has Luka not won it yet? Like, it's like this. This guy won it before Luka? Insecure. Probably some insecurity there as well. All right, what next? Do we want to save my New Year's resolutions and my 2025 predictions for last? And let's get into the Jimmy Butler saga. Okay. SGA rarely gets doubled because of his teammates too. That's actually really not true. We saw this in the playoffs last year. The Mavs sent so much help towards Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And it's a big reason why they lost, actually, is because nobody else on the Thunder stepped up. Man, I really want to find a Jimmy Butler timeline article. Like just a timeline that tells us everything that has happened. Let's look at the ESPN article. Wendy and Shams, 2 of the GOATs. They also double Luka like crazy. I mean, yeah, I know. I don't. What point are you trying to make there? Honestly, what point are you trying to make? I agree with you. Teams double team Luka all the time. So, look, the Mavs schedule is tough, but a positive thing. We play in like 5-7 teams going to play. Will play against us in a back-to-back. Memphis is injured. OKC will play us after a game night before. Nice. Like I said earlier, if SGA was a better playmaker, like Luka, OKC wins that series. If J-Dub didn't have shit running down his leg, they win that series. If Chet didn't have shit running down his leg, they win that series. That's just the truth. Okay, here we go. Man alive. This has just reached... This has just reached a crazy point. The Jimmy Butler trade saga. He has formally requested a trade, or I don't know if he's formally requested a trade, but okay, Jimmy Butler indicates to the Heat that he wants to be traded. 6-time All-Star Jimmy Butler has indicated to the Miami Heat he wants the team to trade him. League sources told ESPN. Butler does not plan to furnish the Heat with a list of favorite destinations. Sources told ESPN he is open to playing anywhere other than Miami. and believes he can make any team a contender. That would be so funny if the Wizards traded for him. Wouldn't make any sense at all, but would be hilarious if the Heat were like, oh, really? Any team? Oh, okay. We'll see about that. Heat officials did not immediately return messages on Thursday night. What does Jimmy Butler's agent have to say about this? Butler scored just 9 points in the Heat's 128-115 loss to the Indiana Pacers on Thursday, openly quitting on the court, mind you. Like, he's openly quitting. Rarely ever do you see stuff like this, where we have reached James Harden territory. I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball, wherever that may be. We'll find out here pretty soon, Butler said. I'm happy here off the court, but I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop. And I want to help this team win. And right now, I'm not doing it. Okay, nice little self-reflection. Here's where it gets bad. When asked if he can get his joy back on the court with the Heat, Butler responded, probably not. Wow. An issue that led to Butler's decision, according to sources, was an implication from team officials Thursday that he hadn't played his hardest in the Heat's victory Wednesday over the New Orleans Pelicans, playing his first game in 13 days after being away because of illness. Butler took just 5 shots in 25 minutes and scored 9 points. A 2-week-long absence because of illness in the midst of trade rumors. We're not idiots, right? We're not morons. Heat coach Eric Spoelstra did not play Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter of either game this week. That's also been an interesting little development. They're straight up benching his ass. They're benching him. I'm going out there to compete either way. Whether I score 9 points or 29 points, I'll compete, Butler said Thursday night. You won't say I'm not out there playing hard. It may look like that because my usage is down and I don't shoot the ball a lot, but you can't say I'm not playing hard. Butler taking this position regarding a trade sets up a possible showdown with team management, which has been adamant it is not planning to trade him. Following an ESPN report on this is your classic. We haven't seen one of these in a while. It hasn't been since Harden. It hasn't been since Harden where a guy's just been like, you're trading me, and I'm about to make this so fucking uncomfortable for everybody involved that you're trading me whether you like it or not. I guess Kyrie kind of did this as well when the Nets were like probably good enough to compete. I don't know about contend, but compete for sure. Following an ESPN report on Christmas Day that Butler would prefer to trade and had the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets, and Dallas Mavericks were there atop his preferred destinations. Heat President Pat Riley issued a statement that said, in part, we will make it clear we are not trading Jimmy Butler. Let's think about all of the weird shit that's happened here. What is Jimmy Butler's agent's Twitter? I want to bring that back up. Jimmy Butler's agent went on just a hilarious and honestly kind of sad tirade. Ivani the Great, 10 months of the slightly delusional club. We might see Jimmy and Fox traded in the same season. That would be crazy. Went on a crazy smear campaign against Shams Charania. Shams on December 11th tweets, the Phoenix Suns are another team that Jimmy Butler's agent, Bernie Lee, has indicated in league circles that the 6-time All-Star is open to as a destination. So, Jimmy Butler's agent took to Twitter that day. All right, listen, I gave you a pass yesterday because I was busy, but if you don't stop putting my name on your complete and utter made-up bullshit because you know you normally aren't worth my time to acknowledge, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm a middle-aged dad, but just know it would indicate severe dislike. I still don't know what that means. World, all this is fabricated. I have never, and honestly, it wouldn't help me or the position I represent to do anything that's been reported by said journalist. Paul with the 5 gifted. Clap it up for Paul. What an incredible guy. Shams, this is your opportunity to say, my bad. I let ChatGPT write my tweets. By the way, As somebody who, in a past career, utilized ChatGPT a little bit, nothing about these tweets says ChatGPT. Okay. I just want to say that. This is just your classic AP style reporting. I let ChatGPT write my tweets and it went old school Peter Vesey. Shams, Peter was a writer in the 90s. Be a trendsetter. Invent the new I was hacked. Carry on. That is all. So, look at even Twitter put a community note underneath this original Shams tweet. Jimmy Butler's agent has publicly stated these claims are unfounded and false. I said at the time I was Team Shams. Shams went on TV. He doubled the fuck down. And he said, no, this is real. I don't give a fuck what his agent's saying. This is all serious. I wouldn't make this shit up. This is real. Bernie Lee's a fucking liar. I don't know what hurt more here. The fact that this got 23 likes or that it is actually, oddly enough, my mother's burner. What an interesting Twitter account we've got going on here. What an interesting Twitter. Sham should have added Jimmy's agent under the video. Yeah, he should have. And now we have reached a point where there is no denying this. This is real. So that whole tirade there by Bernie Lee, which is funny because everyone was eating this shit up. Everyone was eating the Bernie Lee stuff up. Like, oh, hell yeah. Fuck you, Shams. And then Shams doubled down. And then the Heat released a statement on their own personal social media. I mean, how often have we seen this stuff? I mean, I can't remember. You know, we've seen funny like team social media account tweets. Obviously, I'm thinking of the Phoenix Suns apology letter to their fans after losing by 30 in Game 7 of the Dallas Mavericks. Nothing will top that. But the Heat posting a statement on their own social media account saying, hey guys, we're not trading Jimmy Butler, was one of the stranger things I can remember. And it never passed the sniff test at all. We're not trading Jimmy Butler, guys. Please stop talking about it. Please stop asking us. We're not doing it. Please, I beg of you to stop digging into this at all. Did they delete that? I'm looking for it right now. The Heat tweeted that on their own personal Twitter account, didn't they? Or did they just release a statement? Maybe they deleted it. I don't see it on their timeline. Maybe they deleted it. Heat tweet is going to go platinum when Jimmy gets traded to the Pistons. Yeah. Oh, wait, let's see. It was Pat Riley who issued a statement. You could use X's AI tool Grok for Jimmy Butler timeline. Can I say something real quick? Is that how you pronounce that shit? What a dumbass name. ChatGPT, it rolls off the tongue. It sounds good. It sounds a little futuristic. What the fuck is Grok? Yeah, dude, just Grok it. Yo, man, just Grok that. I'm going to go Grok myself. Sounds like shit. I don't care. Give me an updated Jimmy Butler trade saga timeline. Let's see how this looks. I'm actually interested in this. Okay. Jimmy Butler trade saga initially began with the Minnesota Timberwolves after a tumultuous relationship with the team. Butler was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay, we know that. Jimmy Butler signed an extension. We're missing some stuff. All right, I just want to know the Heat stuff. Okay, all right. We're actually kind of getting a little detailed timeline here. Let's see if it's accurate. Summer 2024, reports indicated that Butler was seeking a contract extension from the Heat, but team president Pat Riley was hesitant to commit to a large deal due to Butler's age and availability. Butler's eligible for a 2-year, $113 million extension, but no agreement was reached. So that is true. This has been brewing. We've known this. This has kind of been this uncomfortable thing in the background that Jimmy Butler's obviously, right? He's a professional athlete. He's obviously going to want the most money possible, especially at this age. Just lock me up. 2 years, $113 million. Let's do it. He's 35 years old. He's going to be 36 by the start of next season. And the Heat, the way that they operate is very much like, yeah, we're not doing that. And that's true, B-Dot. That is something that I is not mentioned here. But let's not forget Pat Riley telling Jimmy Butler to essentially shut up. But wasn't this after this past offseason? This was in May of this past year. Pat Riley says Jimmy Butler should have kept his mouth shut about Heat versus Celtics, addresses potential trade. Miami Heat president Pat Riley held an end-of-season press conference on Monday in which he made some pointed comments about All-Star forward Jimmy Butler's off-court antics, but also said that he would not consider trading him this summer. This is because Jimmy... Wait, what did Jimmy Butler say? Oh, he put this on his Instagram. Oh, he's a funny guy. You got to give him props. Keep in mind, he tweeted this, I believe, when the Heat went down 3-0, and they won. They did win game 4, didn't they? Or did they win game 2? What game did the Heat win in that series? Was it game 2? I want to look it up now. Yeah, it was game 2, and they just went absolutely fucking bonkers from 3. And then everyone's like, oh, shit, here we go. That's when Jimmy tweeted this out. Keep in mind, Jimmy Butler didn't play a single game in this series. Okay, mind you, Jimmy didn't play once, and then the Heat went on to lose game 3, 104-84. They lose game 4, 102-88. And they lose game 5, 118-84. So the Celtics did not take kindly to losing that game 2. During an in-game interview in game 3, he criticized the media for not giving the Heat enough credit and said they were going to win the game in the series. I think we believe, Butler told TNT. It's everybody else that don't. If I got to hear one more praise about Boston on national TV when we win a game, I'm tired of hearing that, man. It's 1-1. We're going to go up 2-1. See you later. Peace. Earlier this month, he made his strongest comments yet, telling Rock the Bells that the Heat would have eliminated the Celtics or New York Knicks if he would have been healthy. Video this. 1, 2, 3 action. Butler said, if I was playing, Boston would be at home. New York would have damn sure would fucking be at home. Josh Hart, come on, man. I love Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs, I love you, baby, but I want to beat you to a pulp. Asked about I forgot that. I must have missed that one. Asked about Butler's various comments on Monday, Riley admonished his star. For him to say that, I thought, is that Jimmy trolling or is that Jimmy serious? Pat Riley said that? Is Jimmy trolling? That came out of Pat Riley's mouth. Riley said, if you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut. That wasn't Riley's only notable statement about Butler. Asked about a potential extension for the 34-year-old who is under contract for the next season and has a player option for 25-26. Riley was non-committal. We don't have to do that this year. Or we don't have to do that for a year. We have not discussed that internally right now, but we have to look at making that kind of commitment. That had to resonate. If we know anything about Jimmy Butler, that absolutely resonated. And then we get to December 12th. There were reports suggesting that Butler's preference was to sign an extension with Miami, but executives believe that he might be traded. December 23rd, it was reported that the Heat were unlikely to trade Butler unless they receive an overwhelmingly good offer. December 25th, significant updates emerged with Shams Charania reporting that Butler prefers to be traded out of Miami by the February 6th deadline. Butler was reported to be staying in Miami for conditioning work, missing games, which fueled further speculation about his immediate future with the Heat. And then January 2nd, Butler publicly expressed his desire to get his joy back. This was all yesterday. Wow. Absolutely insane. I mean, openly coming out and saying in a press conference, I want to get my joy back. Do you think you can get your joy here? No. Not good. Then you had Tyler Hero's post-game press conference where he was just, you could tell he was pretty much like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. We have a Sid bomb. Evan Siddery. What did we decide we want to call these? After denying multiple reports for weeks that Jimmy Butler wanted out from the Heat, his agent Bernie Lee has now blocked me on X after his trade request was officialed. Oh. Oh, man. That's fucking funny. That is hilarious. You got to respect it. You really do. You got to respect it. Yeah, feel the burn. So this leads to another, what on earth? I mean, this is reaching such an uncomfortable incendiary bombs. That's great. That is great. Incendiary bombs. That's really good. I don't know why, but I feel that agent does a lot of cocaine. That's true. This is kind of giving cokehead behavior. And I'm not accusing him of that, but it is giving it. You know, I'm not accusing him of being one, but it is giving it. But this is reaching in such an uncomfortable point that I think in the Heat world, I don't think there's any way he's in Miami Heat at the start of next season. But maybe in their mind, they're like, you know what? Any team that wants you is going to have to trade for you either way. Like, even in the offseason, a team's going to have to sign and trade for you if they want to sign you in free agency. So we can hold out here. We don't have to make this trade now. We can wait. But if Jimmy's going to force the issue this much, what does a trade even look like? Have a hard on behind this work desk while watching you, King? Okay, thank you for that. Let me try to regain my train of thought here. What does a trade even look like? Is this really going to be Bradley Beal? I mean, that trade makes no fucking sense. The Suns one makes no sense. Because why in the fuck do the Heat want Bradley Beal? And then you have to think about a three-team trade. What team wants Bradley Beal? So in this scenario, what would have to happen is the Suns would have to give up assets to get Jimmy Butler, because I think he's still somebody you have to give up assets for. It might be a Kyrie situation where you're paying 50 cents on the dollar for a player like Jimmy Butler, but you're still paying 50 cents. Not only do you have to do that, you then also have to attach value to a team for a third team to swoop in and take Bradley Beal. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It does not add up. There's not a trade there. Unless it reaches such a miserable point where it's like, dude, fuck it. We'll take Bradley Beal. Like, we'll just take him and figure it out in the offseason. You look at the teams that he had on his trade thing. I don't think it makes sense. The Rockets could do it. I don't think it makes sense though for them at all. And I can't believe I'm about to do this, but we're firing up Fanspo. We're firing it up. I mean, we have to. We have to see like what the Fanspo community has to say about this. What does the Fanspo community have to say about this? It begs the question. It really does. So this one right here, I'm happy that this one is the top one because I was thinking about this. Bill Simmons mentioned it on his pod. And you know what? It made me think. Paul with the 2. It made me think. Is there a world where Zion ends up on the Heat through all of this? I hadn't thought about how it would be possible. But here's the scenario, I guess. Warriors end up with Jimmy Butler. Could 100% see that. Heat end up with Zion, Gary Payton, and they get a first in this. Interesting. The Pelicans end up with Kyle Anderson, Josh Richardson, and Jonathan Kuminga. I was just about to say, I'm not quite sure how the Heat are also bagging a first in this trade. Yeah, I don't get the sign and trade thing. I don't know if this is possible because they have Kuminga doing a sign and trade. So I don't know if this is an off-season trade. Pelicans say no here. Do they? I mean, yeah, you're not getting back a lot. They'd have to get a first. This can't work. Yeah, I don't know what the Kuminga $33 million number is. Why do the Warriors want Jimmy Butler? So here, they're sort of the perfect team. They do actually have the contracts to make it work, where they wouldn't be cutting too deeply into their rotation. I mean, they would obviously be losing rotation guys, but I think you'd be upgrading significantly enough that it would matter. They're very, very desperate. They have a young player who probably has some legit value across the league in Jonathan Kuminga, who they don't want to pay. It's kind of this perfect combination. Yeah, they're desperate enough. That's it. I mean, all of these are Warriors trades. The Nuggets trade, here's the problem with these is like these very complicated 3-team trades. And are the Nuggets a second apron team? Are the Nuggets second apron or no? Not anymore, right? I saw a Barbosa edit on TikTok today, and it low-key made me emotional. Life moves so fast. Those edits are interesting. There was a Tom Brady edit that was it's to an old Drake song. I forgot what the name is of the song of the song is. This is supposed to be what dreams are made of. That song, and it made me it like kind of made me emotional as well. You know, I didn't cry or anything, but it was just like it made me feel so nostalgic that I didn't like it. I don't like feeling nostalgic. I really don't. Here's one where the Heat get Zach LaVine. I mean, dude, I don't think the Heat are in the market for another guard like this. I really don't. Michael Porter Jr., like Zach LaVine and Tyler Hero backcourt. You see what I'm saying? None of these trades. Wait, what? Milwaukee? Oh my God. These like massive 3-team trades are just so crazy. What the fuck is this one? Brook Lopez to the Lakers. Chris Middleton to the Heat. Bucks get Jimmy Butler. Jalen Hood-Schifino and Josh Richardson. I think this makes the Bucks much worse, to be honest with you. I think the Warriors make the most sense. I think there's a world where, how about this one right here? What the hell is this? The Heat get De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Huerter. The Suns get Jimmy Butler. The Kings get Bradley Beal. Oh boy. And 2 first-round picks. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, sure. So what does it? You do still have the Nuggets possibility. MPJ. Could we see a world where that happens? Do I think it moves the needle? I don't think Jimmy Butler ending up on the Warriors makes him a contender at all. That's not the question for me. The question is, are the Warriors desperate enough just to make the attempt? That's the question. I don't know. Like, what realistically, honestly, Jimmy Butler going to the Rockets would kind of dramatically change their ceiling for me. The thing is, though, I don't think the Rockets, with their timeline and stuff, I don't think it makes sense to make a play like that when there's much younger players that could also dramatically change your ceiling that might be available in the coming months, right? Here's the Kings one. I just want to see how it would have to work contractually for the Kings to make this happen. They would have to trade DeMar. that's like guaranteed they'd have to trade him? I'm trying to think about this from the Kings' perspective. You never get free agents. You got DeMar DeRozan, very well-respected player across the NBA, and you trade him not even before the season's over. What is that? How does that look? You got to think about stuff like that. Pelicans should just treat this season like the Mavericks did when they missed the playoffs. They have almost no chance to make the playoffs, so why do a panic trade involving your star player? Well, the trading Zion is a different thing entirely. You know, it's not like the Mavs. It's not like the Mavs during their bad season were like, let's trade Luka. Like trading Zion, it's in the cards, dude. It's going to happen. That would be you just moving on from this horrible, weird era that you were in. Warriors just make the most sense, man. Do you think Pelicans would accept our 2 firsts and a 26 swap for Herb? Maybe. I don't think it's happening. The Nuggets are interesting. There's no denying that. A potential Nuggets Jimmy Butler trade. Does that change their ceiling? I actually think the answer to that question is yes. The Grizzlies is kind of a sneaky sleeping giant team, I think, for him. Well, they can't even do this trade. I guess they could. Duh, my dumbass. They didn't actually. In my brain, I thought Luke Kennard and John Conchar were gone because of the Dorian Finney-Smith reports. But Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, Kennard, and Conchar. Obviously, like the Heat, like some of these guys would have to be rerouted elsewhere because the Heat just can't bring on 3 new roster guys. But this is a sneaky one, man. I think the Grizzlies are kind of a sneaky team here. Like, they could easily make a trade like that, still have a very deep rotation, and now you have Jimmy Butler into the mix. Why give all future assets for non-guarantee? Because they're a really good team this year. They're a really good team. I don't know how many opportunities are going to present themselves like this, where it could be like a Kyrie situation for the Mavs. You can get a player like Jimmy Butler, who's 35 now. It's not the same, obviously. What was Kyrie when they made the trade? 30? Like, it's not the same at all. And I think don't the Grizzlies have like a decent amount of firsts to play around with? Spurs, I don't think the Spurs. It's interesting, but the timelines don't match at all. I thought about the Spurs a little bit last night. Because I changed my thinking to, all right, who is just willing to do this? The Thunder? I don't see this at all. Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, no way. Topic, absolutely no way. Do the Thunder do this? No way at all. It's hard. It's hard to find one. I'm very interested to see how this whole saga plays out, though. It feels like it's reached that uncomfortable point where something has to happen now. You can't just ride it out. The Grizzlies one is kind of popping out to me. Why would the Pistons do this? Detroit gives Hero PTSD and Miami chooses to bias over Jimmy. This guy's just trolling. That's kind of funny. Asar Thompson goes to the Heat. Of course, it was his twin brother, Men Thompson, who beat up Tyler Hero. But does Tyler know that? I'm not sure. The Hawks? DeAndre Hunter, Bogey, Larry Nance, Kobe Buffkin. No, I don't like that. I don't like that for Atlanta really at all. This is a weird. Josh Richardson, Jovic. I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm so interested to see where this ends up, though. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see its conclusion. And speaking of conclusion, let's wrap up this stream today with my 2025 goals and predictions. And inside these goals and predictions, I do have kind of a cool little announcement for you guys. Look at some Dallas trades. No thanks. I'm watching you over Kenny Beecham's new small ball podcast. Smart man. Love Kenny. All right. I was supposed to go on Kenny's show twice, and then he ghosted me twice. Sad days. Sad days. If Luka misses 6 more games, he's ineligible for the MVP. Okay, Luka's missing 6 more games. You can't even bet on him anymore for MVP stuff. All right. Here we go. I did get big timed. You're right. Our 2025 goals and predictions. Here we go. This is extensive. I really went out. I cannot wait at the end of this year to look back at this. My personal goals. Let's start here. Playback. I want to be a top 5 channel on the site by year's end. I think this is somewhat doable. I have to go really hard on playback. I'm not sure though, because I'm not sure if by member count this is possible, just because I think there was such like a big influx of people joining the site whenever the site became a thing, that I don't know if the growth is necessarily there still for me to get there member wise. And I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like member wise. Like Low. Is that how people say his name? Low? L-O-W? Lau? He has 22,000. I have 2,000. So that would be kind of... But I think my viewership, we could maybe reach there. I think I'm one of the more viewed channels on the platform, to be honest with you. Which is nice. Paul, need replace mic on that list? Really? Wait, does the mic sound bad? I hope I don't need to replace this mic. I didn't even know you could become a member on playback. Is that like subscribing? No, it's just like a subscriber, basically. He's trolling. You know what? I'm actually adding something real quick here. Stop falling for trolls so easily. This extends beyond my chat, obviously. We know Paul. We love Paul. This extends beyond... Paul has got a statue outside the site, Delusional Club. This extends beyond Paul. This goes on to Twitter as well. YouTube, 50,000 subscribers. 50,000 is too low on YouTube, not ambitious enough. You say that, I'm at around 25,000 right now. That'd be doubling, which is great. Anytime you can double your subscriber count, that's phenomenal. So... I think 50,000 is a number that I would like to get to. Paul with the 5 gifted. What an incredible guy he is. Like I said. I think he means in the sense that you technically replace your mic on January 1st. That's true. That's a great point. YouTube 50,000 subscribers. I think we can get there. It's going to require, this next couple months are going to be huge because it's trade deadline. I'm going to go hard on trade deadline. And I'm going to get to a point probably starting next week where I kind of think I want to do maybe a video a day or something up until the trade deadline talking about potential trade guys. And I want to add something here to the YouTube. Focus more on evergreen long form content. Those are videos I want to start making more of. Okay. Those are ones I want to start making more of. Slightly early, stick to a strict schedule. I've been kind of bad about this. We want to stick to a strict schedule for slightly early. And here's my new announcement. So here's the new announcement here. Today is Friday the 3rd. Starting next Thursday, January the 9th, Every single Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be live on Bleacher Report to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. That is every single Thursday for the remainder of the year. I will be on Bleacher Report to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Okay? So we're excited about that one. And simply because of the fact that I'm going to be on Bleacher Report talking about the Mavs, obviously going to be on Locked On talking about the Mavs so often. The amount of time that we really spend talking about the Mavericks on this channel, especially during like slightly early streams, we might space it out a little bit more. Obviously, we'll talk about them after games and when we feel like we have to talk about them, but I can only talk about them so much, you know? Like, I've already kind of reached that point. Like, how much more can I actually really talk about this team? Is it not on YouTube? No, it's on Bleacher Report. We'll talk more about it next week, okay? We'll talk about it next week. But yes, I'm excited about that. 5 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Thursday. And if you guys have been there before, you know, it's very similar to this. But it's just on Bleacher Report. And yeah, we'll make it cool. We'll make it good. We'll make it look good. Collab with other creators more. This has to happen. I've been bad with this, admittedly. It's funny because I have like a good amount of really, really cool content creators that I really respect and really think are awesome. That like we're mutuals on Twitter. You know, we talk on Twitter. We DM every now and then. I just gotta collab with these guys more. Gotta collab with these guys. Collab with other, you know, Mavs. There's so many great Mavs content creators out there as well. It feels, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like deep in the weeds with other fan bases, but man, the Mavs got a lot of great content creators out there. Matt with the 199. Hello, father. Hello, son. You got, you know, TGK, obviously. The We Talk Mavs guys. Always love those dudes. It's just hard. It's hard to collab with, you know, like TGK as a pregame show. I don't really have the time to hop on there. We Talk Mavs, they do a postgame show. I don't really have the time to hop on there either. But I would love to collab more with some people, for sure. Obviously, Marcel, Mavs Digest, you know we love him here at the channel. Vengeance Wood collab, that's my guy. I would love to. Twitter, use it much less. I've already been much better at this over the last few months. Really, honestly, you want to know? You want to know what was Utility Sports on YouTube? He's also a Mavs fan, makes great sicko level content. I think I have heard, yeah. You want to, when we did Slightly Unplugged and I went a couple weeks without being online. Ever since then, I've been on Twitter less. I don't want to delete it off my phone because I do use it. I use it. You know, the thing that Twitter is better at than anything, and it's become much worse lately, but at its peak, you didn't get the, you know, unfortunately, it's been a very, 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 very bad start to this year in terms of some of the stuff happening across the globe, right? But when events like that happen, like the New Orleans terror attack, Twitter is such a useful tool just to stay updated in the moment on things that are happening, right? So I'm not going to delete Twitter. And then when you talk about sports, it is important to just like be in the know, be updated on things. And I've said this, I think I mentioned this on a playback stream. I've been using Twitter less, so I feel less informed as to things that are happening. How does this affect LeBron's legacy? That's a great point. I don't know. But I do need to be on it less. And ever since I did Slightly Unplugged, I have been on it less. But, you know, it just feels like with the addition of the For You page, the shit that I see that pisses me off just increased tenfold. And it like puts me in a bad mood. I'm ashamed to say that. Because it's just like the Tyler, the Creator meme. Turn your phone off. You know, step away from the screen. But sometimes I'll see some shit. And admittedly, the number of trolls I have increased. And they don't piss me off. But it is just like oh, God. Read a book a week. This one's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you straight up, honestly, right now. This one's not going to happen. But I just want to put it out there that I would like to read and finish more books. Just want to read one book per week is cray. I'm a pretty quick reader. Book a month? No, I can read more than that. Like that book I started a couple days ago that I talked about on stream, the public transit book. Human Transit is what it's called. What's the name of the author? I'm so bad about the author's names. I'm about halfway done with it already. Incredible book. Really, really important book. If you guys are kind of on the fence about public transit and stuff like that, or would like to learn more about the benefits of something like public transit, it's by Peter. What's his name? What's his last name? Oh, Jarrett Walker. Good book. Would highly recommend it. Reach, set up merch shop. Now, what do I mean when I say set up merch shop? Obviously, we did the slightly unblocked slightly shirts, which, by the way, I found a box that still has like 15 or 20 or so left. I might just sell them soon. But I want to set up a real merch shop, like a real merch shop. This one feels like a reach, but I would love to have it happen. Net worth improved from $7.9 million, which is my net worth currently, to $14+ million. Would love to have this happen, obviously. Money's not everything. Money's not everything. Not having it is. Remember that. So we're trying to get to $14 million. Just a small number. Something like that. Don't want to be up there. Try to play basketball 2 to 3 times a week. I pretty much did this for most of the year, this past year, in 2024. But would love to find a consistent schedule. My only thing is I don't have a lot of time. Like, my windows to go to the gym are small, and the times in which I do go is usually like in the middle of the day. So it's very difficult to find enough people to play, But I would love to find like a consistent schedule. Win this year's Mavs Twitter tournament. If I do partake in this year's tourney, my goal is to win it. Make no mistake about it. My goal is to win it. Slight GM might have to come into play here and start recruiting. But if we're playing, we're winning. All right? B-Dot, you will 1,000% be on the team. Sell glasses. I want to partner with somebody to sell glasses, but I don't think I have the juice yet. Have a sick new setup by the start of the 25-26 season. I'm very hopeful this happens over the summer. Have a cooler. I offer my hooping skills to you at the Xmas Day game. Screw, that was you, dude. I told you to hit me up. I admittedly don't get my phone number out to people. I had a weird thing with that once. But if you are on social media or anything, please hit me up. I will invite you to When We Go Hoop. Have a sick new setup by the start of the 25-26 season. And I want to healthily, I put this in there, it's very important, down to 215 pounds. I'm at 230 right now, which, I'm a taller guy. It's overweight, for sure. But a lot of it's muscle, Not like a morbidly obese. And I am down significantly to where I was at my heaviest, which was 260. I was 260. Jesus Christ. Again, like I've always been somewhat active and stuff, so it's not just like a complete fat 260. But can we get down to 215? This is like at my peak shape back in like 2018, 2019 when I was grinding. 215 was where I was at. I want to get there again. How tall are you? 6'2", 6'3". And I say healthily. I always say this whenever I say I want to lose weight. I don't want to put any weird things into the atmosphere, into the universe, knock on wood. Healthy down to 215. Healthy. I don't want to lose weight because I got sick, or I don't want to lose weight because I developed a fucking drug addiction. Lineman or linebacker build? I would say more linebacker. So those are my personal goals. I'm hopeful that we look back on this in a few months, in 12 months, and No Ozempic. No Ozempic. All natural, baby, besides the steroids. All right, here comes the predictions. I have a lot of these. Look how many predictions I had. I was going a little bit crazy with them. Don't look too much into these. I kind of went out there with some of them. Let's start here. The Celtics' weird year continues. Did you realize they were 7-6 in December? Upset in the playoffs. I put Knicks, but maybe Cavs. I just envision the Celtics losing in the playoffs this year in the Eastern Conference. I don't know why. You know, there's stuff that I can write off that's happened to them this past month as just, you know, the ebbs and flows of a season. But there's other stuff that's a little concerning to me, that Horford looks old. We knew this was coming, and KP cannot stay on the fucking court. So that opens up a lot of problems for them, honest to God, defensively. Drew's 3-point percentage is down. Pretty much everyone's 3-point percentage is down. It does kind of feel, though, like, how many games did they lose all postseason last year? 2, right? They lost 2 games. I don't know. Tatum got carried by Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Holiday last year. Well, Tatum has been awesome this year. They do have that. But I don't know. The Knicks are and this could be prisoner of the moment stuff. It's January 3rd. The Knicks are playing great basketball lately. Offensively, they're incredible. And man, I just cannot. I watch the Cavs. Did you already talk about how Kenny complaining about how many threes they take? Kenny Smith? You talking about the Inside the NBA guys going on a rant about JJ Redick last night? Yeah. I know we have our concerns about the Cavs in the playoffs, but dude, they're good, man. But who knows? The Celtics will probably turn it on. But this is just my prediction. SGA ends up winning MVP comfortably. Wemby finishes top 3. So what would have to happen for this to be a reality? I think SGA is probably going to end up winning the MVP. They'll be pushing 60 wins in the Western Conference. I mean, that's nothing to turn your nose up at. And I want you guys to really watch Thunder games and really focus on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is a team that's top 10 in offense, and they really probably shouldn't be. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the reason they are top 10 in offense, period. They're great defensively. They have great defensive personnel. Obviously, they're the best defense in the NBA. Like, we know all of this. But offensively, they are 15.5 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the court. 15. I mean, for all the advanced stat nerds out there, that's like Jokic impact. So I do think by the end of the year, his case is gonna be too difficult to ignore. Oh my God, dude. The Nuggets are 30 points better per 100 possessions offensively when Jokic is on the court. 30. Holy shit. Jesus. But I don't think the Nuggets are going to win enough games by the end of it. That'll be it. What would have to happen for Wemby to finish top 3? Like, SGA and Jokic will be 1 and 2. That much is certain. What would have to happen for Wemby to finish top 3? Giannis and the Bucks would have to be, the 5 or 6 seed? And people would just have to be like, eh. By the way, that game last night was crazy. Did anybody see that? What was the run the Bucks went on at the end? 22, wasn't it a 22-0 run? They went on a 22-0 run and had a chance at the end to win the game. Giannis had a chance and missed. 20-0 run in the last 6 or so minutes. Crazy. Wemby finishing top 3. Yeah, the Spurs a top 6 seed. Could the Spurs be aggressive at the trade deadline and take advantage of maybe some other teams being injured, whatever the case may be? I don't know. Maybe. Alex Sarr ends up winning Rookie of the Year. So the Rookie of the Year race is very weird currently. Zach Edey's very impactful. The on-off numbers love him. He might end up winning it. But Alex Sarr has started to make some noise. Alex Sarr is starting to play some really solid basketball. Remember, he was the second overall pick. Like, he's going to have the draft position. I think by the end of the season, he's going to have the go out there and play 35 minutes and do shit. Stat boost that you see some rookies get. I'll say now, Alex Sarr ends up winning Rookie of the Year. Thunder make a big trade at the deadline and win the NBA Finals. So, look. It's just what I feel and believe. Okay. And what's their big trade looking like? Man. If they could get Cam Johnson, what a perfect fit. What a perfect fit that would be. That would address a lot of concerns they have as well. And they definitely have the pieces to make it happen. I think that they have so many assets. They consolidate the trade deadline. They make a big move. What if they tap back into the Lowry thing? I mean, nobody's talked about that. Has anybody spoken Lowry Markkanen's name? I haven't heard anybody say a single word about Lowry Markkanen this year. I have not heard a single word uttered about Lowry Markkanen. Can't be traded? Wait, oh, that's right. That's right. Alex Sarr, Rookie of the Year is kind of unhinged. Is it though? Like, he's been playing much better lately, and nobody has like solidified themselves. He was the second overall pick. He's been playing much better. He signed that extension before the season. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm telling you, Cam Johnson on this Thunder team, they had, some good postseason experience last year going up against a great Mavs team. That's my big Thunder prediction. The Mavericks play the Nuggets in the playoffs. We've kind of been waiting for this for a while. These teams always play close. These games are always entertaining between these two teams. I think these teams finally meet up in the postseason this year, and I think it's one of the best series of the 2020s. Like, I think it's a classic. Luka finishes the series averaging 37 points per game. Jokic finishes the series averaging 31, 15, and 11. I'm not going to predict who wins. But I think we get an all-time classic. That's what we need. We need a Nuggets Mavs series. Never happening like 76ers Bucks. That would suck. DQ, how would you feel in a Mavs Nuggets series? That's what I want to know. Mavs sweep the Nuggets. I think it'd be very competitive. But we would love that. NBC and Amazon, don't forget the start of the 25-26 season. NBC, Amazon are in the mix. NBC and Amazon have incredible start to their coverage. I'm very excited about where this is headed. Now, I didn't realize this. I did not realize how many games NBC was going to be broadcasting this year. I was reading an ESPN article last night about it. Let me see if I can find it. Sadly, my PC is cooked. I hate to hear that. What has been the best series of the 2020 so far? Doesn't it have to be the Bucks, Nets? Does it have to be Bucks, Nets? Real quickly, I want to talk about this, what Amazon and NBC are planning to do. Monday, Peacock, NBC streaming service, will air a doubleheader every week. Tuesday, NBC will air 2 games on regional affiliates. Wednesday, ESPN will air its usual doubleheaders. Boo. Thursday, Amazon will begin airing primetime games in January after Thursday Night Football ends. Friday, Amazon will air primetime doubleheaders. ESPN will also occasionally air some. Saturday, ABC will continue to have primetime showcase games, while Amazon will occasionally air games in the afternoon. And then Sunday, NBC will air primetime games after Sunday Night Football wraps up in January. I'm so excited for this. NBC is going to have up to 100 games, while Disney will have 80 and Amazon will have 66. I'm very excited about this. NBC was on top of their shit when they had the NBA last. And I cannot wait to see how this looks. Yeah, Dirk's with Amazon, right? Amazon's not fucking around either. I'm telling you guys, Amazon's going to take this shit really seriously. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great for the sport. How about this prediction? Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN for Fox News. I think he had some appearances on CNN during the election lead up. I forgot what show it was, but I saw somebody say that he frequently goes on a political radio talk show. I forget which one it is. I think he's maybe positioning himself to move on from ESPN. Now, Fox News, CNN, these news networks, they give out they're talking about different money. They're playing with different money than ESPN is. I honestly think they could double Stephen A. Smith's salary, pay him $30 million. Sean Hannity. He goes, that is what it was, the Sean Hannity show. I think they could double his salary and have him work half as much as he works currently with ESPN. I know he signed an extension, but I don't know what the fuck that means. You have the Stephen A. Smith show. He's sort of opening up different avenues for his talking. I think he's positioning himself to leave. Honestly, I do. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And I think in response, ESPN begs Skip Bayless to return, which we've already kind of had rumors of, that ESPN was kicking the tires on bringing Skip Bayless back and reuniting him with Stephen A. Smith. Now they could reunite him with Shannon Sharp as well. I'm going to add to this prediction. He says no. This ends up being good for ESPN in the long run. It ends up becoming the end of this era of ESPN. The personality over sports era, the personality over talking about sports era comes to an end. And they start to focus on other things, and it ends up becoming good. It ends up being good in the long run for their network. That's what I'm hoping for, okay? Skip joined CNN. Oh, man. This is my personal... I'm manifesting this right here. Massive college sports betting scandal drops. I don't even think this is that crazy of a prediction. We're getting this at some point. I hope you guys are mentally prepared for this. We are getting a massive college sports gambling scandal at some point. The NIL deals, these athletes making money, it's all for the better. With the, obviously, I'm not ever going to disagree with that. But with the integration of sports gambling and how prevalent it is in sports, there's going to be a ginormous scandal at some point. And I think it's going to be in college sports. I don't know which sport specifically, but we're getting one of these at some point. I hope you know that. And it's going to fundamentally change how we view sports gambling. And again, it's going to be one of these things where it's going to suck at the time, but it's going to be for the better in the long run. That we sort of slow down how much sports gambling is prevalent. And in sports. Hawk Tuah Girl and the Rizzler are easily on ESPN halftime show panel by the end of 2025. You might not be wrong. Oh, man. The new All-Star Game format ends up being a huge success. I'm excited about this format. I know KD was hating on it. Haley Welsh replaces Stephen A. I'm going to bed now. Anywho. I'm excited for this new All-Star Game format. We need make it take it. I mean, just the tournament aspect of it, I think, is just naturally going to make it more competitive. I just think human nature is going to kick in. The competitive spirit is going to kick in a tournament like setting like that. Skip and Stephen A. Smith have Fox News CNN debates, which attract much more attention than president debates. That would be so funny, man. When do they make gambling legal in Texas, you think? It's coming for sure. I'm not sure when, but it's coming. Jazz win the lottery. I don't want this to happen at all. But I envision Cooper Flagg on the Utah Jazz. Anytime I close my eyes and think about Cooper Flagg in the NBA, he's in a Utah Jazz jersey. I'm not sure why. I would love for it to be like the Hornets. I would love for it to be the Wizards. I would love for it to be really any East Coast team. It might be the Caucasian thing. It really might be. I'm not sure. But I can't close my eyes and see Cooper Flagg in a Wizards jersey. It doesn't pop up in my head. I can't close my eyes and see him in a Charlotte Hornets jersey. Like, it doesn't work. It reminds me, like, Wimby, you closed your eyes and you saw the San Antonio Spurs. Like, did you ever see a Charlotte Hornets jersey on Victor Wembanyama when you closed your eyes and thought about him? You God bless the Hornets. Did you ever close your eyes and see that? You saw a Spurs jersey. True, the Pels winning the lottery would not be a surprise because they seem to always do it. Cooper's from Maine. He's East Coast bound. Adam will make it happen. Adam doesn't give a shit about Maine. God bless Maine. But the Jazz win the lottery. That's my prediction. The calendar year of 2025 is crazy in terms of star movement. Obviously, the new CBA and stuff like that has made this a little bit more difficult, but I'm just looking at the landscape of the league, and it's been relatively quiet. I mean, there's always going to be player movement in the NBA, obviously, but it kind of has been quiet over the last year and a half or so. I think that changes. I think this year is going to be nuts. I really do. I can almost say, and I feel this with almost 100% certainty, that Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Durant, and Zion will be on new teams by the end of 2025. That's just the way that I feel. Jimmy Butler feels like a foregone conclusion, obviously. The De'Aaron Fox stuff is going to be way too weird to ignore. Kevin Durant, he's getting older. I don't think the Suns team's going anywhere. They've been a weird disappointment. How surprised on the surprise meter, 1 to 10, 10 being the most surprised, would we be if in the next month or so, maybe it doesn't happen, but in the next month, there's like, hey, Kevin Durant might be, like, keep an eye out for Kevin Durant getting traded. I would have my surprise meter at like a 6, or if they ended up doing it, like a 6, where I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, but kind of expected. Like, let's say the Suns continue this pace and they're like the 9 seed by the trade deadline. What are they right now? And the Rockets call them. They're like, hey, let's cut the bullshit. We wanted them last year. Let's cut the shit. Let's do it. The Suns, oh my God, the Suns are the 11 seed. I did not realize it was getting this bad for them. Trading KD or Book to the Rockets for picks back seems like one of the only positive avenues for the Suns. Yeah. And then I have a stretch. Domantas Sabonis I put on here because if the Kings do end up trading De'Aaron Fox, do they just shut it down? Like, do they tear it down completely? Joel Embiid, I don't think it's impossible if the Sixers flame out in the playoffs again. I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's an impossibility. Devin Booker, I think it's possible. LeBron, I don't think it's impossible. But I think we're going to get some crazy, like, you just look at the landscape of the league and it just feels like, and I also want to throw out, okay, I have this one as my next one. Bucks lose early in the playoffs. They've been playing better lately, but I do think that they're going to, I don't know. I don't see them as a real contender at all. I just think defensively they're going to have too many problems. Too many problems in a playoff setting. And I think we get some pretty serious Giannis trade rumors again. And I think the Bucks make yet another panic trade. What does that look like? I don't know. And then Thanasis Antetokounmpo becomes an assistant coach. That's what I envisioned happening with the Bucks. It just feels like that's the Bucks cycle right there. Maybe this time would be different because Giannis is getting older. Their roster is getting older. The avenues for them to really improve their roster feel slim. But yeah. Feels so good to have been right about the Suns all along. People laughed at me when I said the Suns were destined to fail. It's just, man, there's a world where they don't make the Kevin Durant trade. What does their team look like? They probably could have done an Ayton trade for somebody else. And you could have Book and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. And they obviously with Chris Paul aging out, they would have had to have traded for another star guy. Interesting sliding doors moment. You know, I actually think we're going to look back by the end of the decade. I'm going to tell you this right now. We're halfway through the decade at this point, or getting close to halfway through the decade. Are we halfway through the decade? 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Halfway through the decade. I think the Nets Bucks Game 7 is going to be the biggest sliding door moment of the decade. I think that's going to be the moment that we look at and say, wow, so many things could have changed by Kevin Durant's toenail. So many things would be different. Imagine what the NBA would look like. I honestly don't think Giannis is on the Bucks in that scenario. I think the Nets could very well still be together in that scenario. What a different world we live in if the Bucks lost that series. Nets would be working on a 4-peat right now. I think they would have won the finals that year. What an interesting timeline that is. Huh? Warriors asked Steph Curry if he wants to be traded, but he says no. I think that it's going to reach a point in Golden State where maybe they make a Jimmy Butler move before the trade deadline or something. They're not going to be a contending team. They're not a contending team. And you just look at their roster. How do they reach a contending point at this point in time? And also, look, man, Steph Curry played well last night, but he's kind of reaching that point. Old guys reach where the good games are fewer and further between. And I don't think they would ever trade Steph Curry without Steph Curry going to them and asking to get traded. And I think we get reports that the Warriors asked them, like, hey, do you want to be traded? We will trade you if you want to be traded. And he says no. But it becomes like, it's over. It's over in Golden State. It's done. Mavericks add a third star in the summer. I see this happening. I see this coming together. I don't know. Obviously I picked the Thunder to win the finals. I don't want to make any other playoff predictions. I don't know. Because who knows who's going to be healthy by then or what. But if the Mavericks are healthy going into the playoffs, I think they'll be a very tough out. And I think they'll look to be aggressive in the summer. I don't think they're going to do much of anything between now and the trade deadline. And I think if an opportunity presents itself this summer, I think the Mavericks are going to be uber aggressive. I do. I think they'll be one of the most aggressive teams to sort of try to maximize and capitalize on the Luka Kyrie era. Name names, I don't really know, specifically. They should just trade for BI right now. Oh, let me add Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram will absolutely be on a new team. That's not that crazy of a claim. He's a free agent, but Zion is Zion to the Mavs will always be a possibility. It so aligns with what the Mavericks do. I'm not giving up on that hope. I wouldn't say hope, but I'm not giving up on that possibility. Not giving up on that possibility whatsoever that Zion can be on the Mavericks at some point. Warriors add lead guard in the summer. Devin Booker They positioned themselves to negotiate with the Suns. It's crazy. That's what the Rockets did this past summer. They traded for the Rockets, or for the Suns pick. They literally positioned themselves to negotiate with the Phoenix Suns. And everyone kind of assumed that was KD, and it could still be KD, but I think it could also be Devin Booker. They need a lead guard. They need one badly. And I think that they're going to be kind of lucky this offseason because I think De'Aaron Fox will be available. And I do think if the Suns flame out, I think there's a world where you could get Devin Booker. I do. He's always injured, which appears to be what the Mavs are best at. Yeah. Thompson twins make a jump, or is it too soon? No, I don't think that's a crazy prediction. Oh, and you'll see I have Spurs make massive trade during the summer, finish November as a top 2 seed in the West. I wanted to do the Texas 3-step here because I think the Western Conference could get back to this very interesting point, that a point in time in which it's been at in the past, where the Western Conference is kind of centered around the South, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. Very real possibility that those are like the 4 best teams in the West next year. Saudi's doing the secret sauce with their everything at the wall and spike the football in one hits. Hell yeah. What's funny though is I don't think I'm doing any like contradicting ones. I always hate when people do like predictions and some of them contradict each other. You think Wembanyama will be better than Luka? How about this one? Calvin Booth and Michael Malone are fired. This doesn't feel like that crazy of a prediction. You can't really ignore how horrible that front office has been. And then Michael Malone is just an unfortunate casualty. Vibes in Minnesota start to feel really bad. Reports a player-only meeting. Someone punches Rudy Gobert accidentally, but it makes headlines. So I'm envisioning a world where maybe there's a scuffle that breaks out. Rudy Gobert accidentally gets punched trying to break it up, and then that becomes a big talking point. That's my prediction for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The vibes are already kind of weird there, huh? No, unintentionally punched. But everyone makes fun of Rudy Gobert forever for it. Doesn't Rudy get punched once a week already? Yeah, but this one's not his fault. Zion Williamson is a Miami Heat. I just see it. I know I just said that the Mavs, like I'm not giving up on the Zion to the Mavs stuff because it just does seem like something that they would do. But also, it makes so much sense for the Heat because they're kind of in this weird spot. Jimmy's done. Like this era is over. You're not contending with Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo. I'm sorry, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo being your 1-2 punch. You guys know I love Bam. He's been disappointing this season. Tyler Hero has been incredible. Should be an all-star. Would be my vote for most improved player if I had one and if the season ended today. But they don't have the guys to compete at the highest level. Zion gives them this hypothetical. He's young still. And if we could just fucking get through to him, Heat culture, baby. If we can get through to him, all of a sudden our team looks a lot different. Zion next to Bam is kind of disgusting. Tyler Hero, I don't know. I could kind of see it. Could also see Zion in Miami ending horribly, but I know I could see it ending horribly, but you never know. LeBron James announces he wants to play with Bryce James. I think it becomes clear by the end of the season that we might not be that close to a LeBron retirement tour. And then I think the chances of LeBron playing in the next Olympics grow day by day. It sounds insane. It sounds absolutely fucking nuts. He'll be 43, 44 by the time the next Olympics come around. I don't think it's an impossibility that LeBron James is on the Team USA team. And it's like a Sue Bird thing, no. Or not a Sue Bird, sorry. Who was it? Who was it that was on the women's team this year? Oh my God. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm blanking on the fucking name like a dumbass. Taurasi, yes. Jesus Christ. One of those scenarios where it's like, why are you on this team exactly? And you're not going to say no. You're not going to say no to LeBron. But Bryce James and Bronny James are on the Team USA team as well. Still no word on expansion. Somebody mentioned here in the chat, I think they are waiting for LeBron to retire because he wants to have an ownership stake in the Vegas team. But the expansion is something that we've been waiting for and just kind of assuming it's going to happen. And the longer we go without it, the weirder I think it gets. Dallas confirmed no interest in Jimmy. Yeah, it's not surprising at all. They don't have the pieces. It doesn't make sense. Here's my two favorite ones. Bill Simmons signs deal with Amazon. Zach Lowe signs deal with Amazon. So I want to say I heard recently that Bill Simmons was like in negotiations with Spotify. And I'm not sure he'd want to do this. But Zach Lowe is going to go somewhere. We know that for sure. And I'm sure the Ringer is going to really go after Zach Lowe. But what if Bill Simmons leaves? What if Bill Simmons is in contract negotiations with Spotify and then Amazon swoops in and says, hey, be like one of the lead guys for us for our NBA coverage. We'll bring in Zach Lowe too. We have infinite fucking money. We paid however many $1 billion to have NBA rights. We're not fucking around. Think about it. The Ringer almost doesn't need Simmons anymore. Man, I was seeing conspiracy theories that there's like a stretch where they were pumping out some Ringer podcasts without Bill Simmons. And there was some conspiracy that was Bill Simmons sort of showing Spotify or trying to show Spotify, see, they need me. But it could also be him just sort of testing the waters like, hey, could you guys survive if I were to go elsewhere? LaMelo Ball accidentally runs over fan's foot leaving stadium, vows to grow up, is on the cover of NBA 2026. Big baller brand shit. That's right. We know LaMelo Ball is a safety hazard in the Charlotte area because of his driving. I think it comes to a ugly conclusion. Nobody gets injured too much, but it ends up being a thing. And I do think he ends up on the cover of NBA 2026. Why do I think that? 2K26. Why do I think that? Because I saw the All-Star fan voting. I said, damn, he might be on the cover of 2K26 next year. Who else is going to be on the cover? Was Wemby ever on the cover? It could be Wemby. You had Tatum this past year. Who do you think could be a cover athlete next year? I'm trying to think now. Wemby does kind of make some sense. A lot of players change teams, but no teams completely tear their roster down besides maybe the Kings. So I mentioned I think this is going to be like a big year for star movement, but I even look at some of the teams, like the Heat aren't going to turn into a tanking team if they trade Jimmy Butler. The Kings very possibly could. The Suns, I guess, could, but they owe so many, like they gave out so many picks that I don't think they're going to want to tank. I think the Pelicans, even if they trade Zion, are going to try to be competitive. And Brandon Ingram. Shea's going to be on the cover. I could see that. We still need Jokic. Anthony Edwards, maybe. NFL announces games every day of the week on Christmas week. Marks beginning of the end. This is some manifesting here. I think the NFL starts to get a little too big for their boots. They announced that on Christmas week there will be a game every day. They've already kind of like approach this. NFLPA would never go for that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Christmas for the NFL games was Germans going into the Soviet Union. Oh. Operation Barbarossa? Oh, man. They're not ready for winter. They're not ready for winter. They basically already did that this year. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what I'm saying. They basically already did it. Yeah, NFLPA, man. Roger Goodell's going to tell them to kill themselves. You understand? They basically already do. I'm just now seeing this on the standings. The Raptors are 1-15 on the road. Okay. Ime Udoka gets into a verbal altercation with opposing player during playoffs. We've already seen him get into a verbal altercation with LeBron James. That was obviously an incredible moment. I personally thought so. I thought that was sick. Getting into it with an opposing player. I think he gets heated and gets into it with somebody in a playoff series. So what do you guys think the reason is for college football? It's like 1 of 8 on playoff games. These games have sucked. I did watch the Arizona State-Texas game. That game was really good and fun. But why have all of these games been terrible? Bro, what's with ESPN Bet app ads on YouTube with Play Flash music in the background? It's so weird. Nobody with a bye advanced to the quarterfinal round. And another thing that I personally hate about college football, the coaches are such fucking crybabies. The coaches are such crybabies. Like, what's his name? Kirby Yates? That's not his name. That's a pitcher. Kirby Smart? Is that his name? The Georgia coach, Kirby something? He was like, yeah, some of these guys who got a bye are better than other teams. We got fucked, basically, is what he's saying. It's like, man, shut the hell up, loser. You lost, loser. Saw that you should add the ESPN theme as a sound drop. That should be funny as fuck. I think it's copyrighted. And my last one right here is Mark Cuban's phasing out from ownership becomes ugly, barely at games to start the 25-26 season. I think the writing's on the wall for this one. I think this is like a foregone conclusion, I feel like. I don't think there's a scenario in which this does not get weird. Now, I hope it doesn't bleed over into anything else. But, yeah. We already saw it at times last year. Did they ask him not to sit next to the bench? I think that was more of an NBA thing rather than a Mavericks thing. But I do think that it's going to get weird. Did Mark get into some financial trouble, forcing him to sell the Mavs? I'm not sure. I mean, he's getting older. I think he probably maybe he just wanted to take a step back and just wanted to be a little bit more liquid. But anyway, these are my predictions and my personal goals for this upcoming year. He said he wanted more time with his kids. Yeah, I mean, all that makes sense to me. All right, if you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I love you. We'll be live on playback.tv/slightlybiased tonight to watch the Mavs take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Damn, it's noon. This was a long episode. What is Nick's in real life 2K archetype? Trying to think of 2K archetypes. Rim running rebounder. Cavs can beat us by 30. Maybe. They're good, dude. The Cavs are fucking good. The way they play, too, I feel like it's going to give this team some problems. That's the meanest thing I've ever said. Really? Rim running rebounder? How? He would agree with that, by the way. Now, the thing about Nick is like deceptively big. Nick's like 6'3". I don't know what I'm going to do because that just means bad. No, it doesn't mean bad, guys. Those guys are very valuable players in pickup. I want to say that. Those guys are very valuable players in pickup. The guy who gets big, sets great screens. You're a stretch 6. Nice. He is like a legit good rebounder and good screen setter. That's not a slight. You know, my shot's been feeling really good lately. Really good. My player archetype is Caruso. I don't know what my player archetype is. Dirk with hops. Isaiah Stewart. TGK once said like a PJ Washington. Your new mic sounds great, but anytime something plays from your computer or don't remember there's an echo. Yeah, I need to figure out how to Bacons, are you in here? Is there a way? Because I want the Rodecaster to pick up my desktop audio for like my Audacity recordings for Spotify. Is there a way where that doesn't come through on the stream? Do you get what I'm saying? If you're still in here. If not, I'll ask later tonight. Oh, Bacons is in here. Is what I'm saying makes sense? Rephrase it. So I have my Rodecaster, right? And I have it set up to where my desktop audio, so you see here, speakers, Rodecaster Duo, it goes through there. That way it can get picked up on Audacity. So it's on my soundboard, or it's on my, what are these things called? My faders. But the problem is on Streamlabs, it also picks that up. You need a sound gate. Actually, you know what? I'm a dumbass. I don't even need. All right, you guys tell me if there's still an echo whenever I play audio. Hold on a second. Let me just find something to play. I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm a middle-aged dad, but just know it would indicate severe dislike. I still don't know what that means. Any echo there, or was it better? No echo? Okay. I figured out what my dumbass was doing. There's no reason for me to have the desktop audio on Streamlabs. Sometimes it kind of shocks me how stupid I am, honestly. What was it? No, I just, if I was already getting output from my Rodecaster, I didn't need multiple outputs. Really easy fix. Really easy fix. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. I wanted to do a video today, but this ended up taking too long. But next week, we're going to get back into videos. Get back into videos. I really like, I was surprised as that. It's weird. The holidays being on Wednesdays this year. Kind of like a weird, made it all weird. Like each week didn't feel real, if that makes sense. You know? Like sometimes it's like the holidays are on a Friday and it's like the whole week is you just go about business as usual and then like Thursday comes around. It's like, all right, I'm taking it off. Or like the holidays are on a Monday and it's like, yeah, we'll celebrate for a couple days and then it's back to like Wednesday is weird. Yeah, I'll be live on Playback tonight. Yeah, today does not feel like a Sunday. Or a Friday, sorry. Today does not feel like a Friday whatsoever. Price up for my PC, CPU lighting got me bugging. That would suck. This year, most major holidays on Friday. It's going to be a good year. I feel it. I feel that too. I think it's going to be a good year. We had like a rough start world event wise, but I do think it's going to be a good year. You got to manifest this shit. You got to manifest it. You just do. You just do. Going to be a great year with our glorious king in office now. Yeah. When is that? Is that the 20th? When does that Sasaki guy have to make his decision? Is that coming up? End of the month. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all for coming out. All of the OGs, guys, I love you very much. Could have spent your Friday morning anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers. I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations to members. Thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps you out tremendously. Makes you feel so good. I'll be live on playback.tv/SlightlyBiased tonight for the Mavericks and the Heat game. If you missed any of the stream, you can catch some of the clips on the Slightly Biased Clips channel. I'll be uploading a bunch of those over there. I got 4 ready to go. Anyways, thank you all for coming out. You guys, I love you very much. Chat with you all later. Bye. Oh, did I say Heat? What the hell? Cavs. Why the fuck did I say Heat? Bye.